I'm doing this film review, and it's of a film that I saw as a child, and a lot of you might remember it, and some of you know it might be obscured from your memories, but I believe it had this fellow, this famous, more famous later than, earlier than now. His name is Matt Broderick, and it had Rupert Everett, I think, and it's from 1999, I believe, and so it's this film where we have this fucking security guard, and he dies in this horrible explosion, kind of like RoboCop, and only to be like reanimated like RoboCop into this sort of crime fighting robot man. But what's so weird about it is he's so wacky, and he's got these weird tools and these weird powers, and it's one of the bizarre scenes of this, it made it seem quite avant-garde, is he's learning to meditate from Osama bin Laden, I believe. He looked quite like him. I don't think it was Osama himself, but it looked kind of like him, And so he mistakes what Osama's saying, and he grabs his genitals and he pulls at them, and Osama curses at him, and then after this, he, no, I think it's actually before, can't remember, he ejaculates toothpaste onto his love interest, and every time he sees her ass, he makes monkey noises, and so this man's very deranged, but they trust him to fight crime because they know he's got a good heart, or something, and so in the midst of this, we have this fella who drops a bowling ball on his hand, and he gets this mechanical pincher, and his bumbling sidekicks, they want to steal this severed foot that that doesn't really tell you why they need it. They just kind of shove it down a toilet, and the fat fucker fella, he says like, oh yeah, I was just cleaning it, and I believe him, It's a filthy foot. And so anyways, we got this guy, he's got a mechanical hand, and he's fighting this bumbling sociopath who is played by Matt Broderick. And so another fine point in the film is Matt, he gets this African-American automobile who's very jazzy, and he's played by, I don't remember who it was. Yeah, he's played by this fella, and he's African American, and it's this fast talking, sassy automobile, and they verbally spar a lot. But in one affectionate scene, he makes the car ejaculate Skittles, and he rolls his eyes back. He's like, oh yes, and so that was quite beautiful in my opinion. And so you got this other scene with his twin brother, the hero's twin brother, who's evil, and that guy's quite scary. I mean, because he turns into Godzilla, he terrorizes the city, and it's jarring and racist. You have this moment, this Japanese fella's like, he says in Japanese, I don't know Japanese, but he says, this is why I left Tokyo, and that's a stereotype, and we don't like that. That's racist. And so anyways, you have this guy, he's I dropped that. He's a twin brother, he's a twin brother, he has swords for hands, and he has tarantulas crawling out of his mouth, and they fight, and then eventually the fight ends with the main character decapitating his brother in this sort of Game of Thrones type ending, and then kicking it off the Golden Gate Bridge. It's quite brutal, honestly. And then he, beats the bad guy. I forgot how, but, his head turns into a helicopter in this grand finale, and then the African-American automobile arrests the bad guy, and it's quite amusing. And I don't know, this film is quite 90s. It had the song by Smash Mouth, All-Star, in it, and there's tons of product placements, like I said, with the Skittles, McDonald's, Yahoo, Game Boy, and all sorts of other ones, but I don't know. I find it to be quite a fancy art film. The title of this one, I think, is Captain Tools, or the Mr. Hardware. I got it. It's Inspector Gadget. It's a Disney film, believe it or not. And I am giving this one a, I don't know, a 15 out of 100. So there we go. Yeah.